This is Jarrod Horak for the RunawayHorse.com. Welcome to my latest Kentucky Derby 2022 points race video in my series. I've covered 20 races in the series so far, and my top choices have 7 wins and 6 runner-up finishes. Last week I did 2 Derby points races, the El Camino Real Derby. My top choice, Boise, was unplaced there. And then in the Sam F. Davis Stakes, my top choice was Hailing Time. That one scratched. My second choice, Classic Causeway, ended up winning in that race. I did have the winner of the Suncoast Stakes last week for my Kentucky Oaks points races, and I did for this week the Rachel Alexandra Stakes, if you're interested in checking that one out on my YouTube channel. But now let's jump into the analysis of this race, and I'm going to do the 13th race from Fairgrounds, and it's going to be for Saturday, February 19th, and this is going to be the Grade 2 Risen Star Stakes in this race. It's a 1.125 miles for 3-year-olds with a scheduled post time of 6:58 p.m. Eastern Time and 50 Kentucky Derby points for the winner, 20 for second, 10 for third, and 5 for fourth. And Pappacap, number 1. He's typically in the mix. He won the Grade 2 Best Pal Stakes as a sprint last year at Del Mar, and they stretched him out, and he was second in the American Pharoah Stakes, second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Corniche won both of those races, the 2-year-old champion, and Pappacap was second best. He made his 3-year-old debut in the Grade 3 Lecomte Stakes, and he stalked the pace from an inner post, and he finished third, beating 3/4 of a length. He's going to have to improve. He's had a good ground-saving trip last time, and I think he's going to do the same thing this time. There's some other horses with speed. Pappacap will save all the ground, and he'll give his honest effort. But do note that he's run 3 times around 2 turns, and he finished second, and third, and he wasn't gaining ground in the stretch in those 1 and 16th races, and now he's got to go 1 1/8 miles. So now number 2 in this race is Russian Tank. He seems to be overmatched on paper, but if you look at his 2 best races, they were both in 1-mile turf races. He got clear early leads in there, and he was able to run well. And in both of those races, against Maiden Company, once on yielding turf, he actually opened up a 10-length lead from the inside post at Hawthorne last fall, and then he finished second by a length prior to breaking his maiden after having a 4-length lead and holding on by a half-length at Fairgrounds in November. His last 2 starts, he was no threat, and now he's going to stretch back out, face much better company, and I think the best thing that he can do for his chances for success is to get out there. But there are other classy horses that are going to make him go too fast early, and he's probably going to fade from contention. Number 3, Trafalgar, putting the blinkers on for Al Stall Jr. This one, he ran well in his first 3 starts, second behind a runaway winner, Classic Causeway, in his debut. Then he was the next out winner at Churchill Downs at 1 mile, and that was in October of last year. And then at Fairgrounds in December, he was able to win by a head, tracking slow fractions. Last time out in the Lecomte Stakes, the pace was pretty quick. He was chasing it, and he was just evenly finishing 4th in that race. So he's going to have to kick up his game in here. I'm not sure he really wants to go this far. Tawny Port for Brad Cox is number 4. This one's 2 for 2. Both of those races were 1-mile races on the all-weather surface at Turfway Park. He rallied from 11th place in his debut in a 12-horse field, and he sat back in 5th in a 10-horse field second time out. So now he's going to run on dirt for the first time, but the sire, Pioneer of the Nile, that one well known for producing dirt runners. Macho Uno, the dam sire. So top and bottom, bred for the main track. It's just a question of how good is this one. They paid $430,000 for him. He's going to have to run faster on a different surface. Epicenter was my top choice in the Grade 3 Lecomte Stakes last time, and he ran the best race. It's just a shame that he didn't get the job done. He set strong fractions there. He worked hard for the lead. He got that early lead, and he was pressured, never gave up, and he was able to hold off Pappacap for second, but he could not hold off Call Me Midnight, and that one was able to rally for a nice victory there from well off the pace. But Epicenter just did all the pace dirty work there, and he wasn't able to win. His other races were good. His maiden win on a good track at Churchill Downs in a 1-turn mile, followed by a victory and a runaway front-running victory in the Gunrunner Stakes. He battled on the pace. The pace wasn't as quick in the Gunrunner as it was in the Lecomte Stakes, and he was able to win that one, but he just couldn't quite keep going in the Lecomte. He's going to get out there and run hard from the beginning, and we'll see how long he can last. Pioneer of Medina for Todd Pletcher. Back-to-back victories. Tampa Bay Downs maiden win, putting blinkers on at 1 mile and 40 yards in December. And then on January 22nd at Fairgrounds, that was on the Lecomte Stakes undercard, he won 1 mile and 1/16 race in 1:45.1, and the Lecomte Stakes was run in 1:44.1. So the Lecomte Stakes was a second faster than his race, and he did add Lasix that day as well. Will not have Lasix in this spot, and the pace is not going to be soft like it was last time. So he's going to have to stalk the pace and outfinish these and run much faster. Zandon is the next one in line, and he was my top choice in the Remsen Stakes after an impressive debut at 6 furlongs at Belmont Park last fall. He stalked the pace in that debut victory, and then in the Remsen Stakes, the pace was crawling slow. He was from post 7 in an 8-horse field. He was stalking wide, so he was wide throughout, chasing very slow fractions, and he had the lead in the stretch, but Mo Donegal was able to come and get him, and it was just a ding-dong battle to the wire, and Mo Donegal was on the right end of the photo, and he won by a nose. And it was more than 9 lengths back to the show finisher there. And then Mo Donegal came back, and in the Holy Bull Stakes, he was a decent third in his first start this year. So I liked that Remsen Stakes last year. I put Zandon on my Kentucky Derby list right after that race. And if you're interested in checking out my Kentucky Derby blogs, you can find those at therunawayhorse.com on my Kentucky Derby 2022 page. But Zandon's part of my list, and he's one that ran very well last time out at this 1.125 distance, and he's the only entrant that has a start and a good race at 1.125, and Zandon will probably stalk the pace. Smile Happy is the one to beat, your morning line favorite. Easily won his debut at Keeneland. That day, the pace was okay. He was able to rally from off the pace to win by more than 5 lengths. And then after that, he ran in the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes at Churchill Downs. He stalked the pace. The pace wasn't that quick that day, and he was able to win easily by more than 3 lengths. Classic Causeway was clearly second best. He came back last week to win the Sam F. Davis Stakes. White Abarrio finished third in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. He was my top choice when he won the Holy Bull Stakes at 6-1 odds. And then Call Me Midnight, the Lecomte Stakes winner, was also in that field. So we've had 3 horses from that Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes win Kentucky Derby points races this year. And Smile Happy making his first start of the year, obvious contender here. Bodock is number 9. This one for Brad Cox. He's 2 for 2, and his victories were in dirt sprints. And I like this angle, 2 dirt sprints moving to a dirt route in the 3rd career start. And Brad Cox is very good, 30% wins when he stretches horses out in distance. And this one stuck the pace and won nicely in his first 2 starts. Now I like that move, this route move, and then I also like horses that stalk the pace and then stretch out. So I don't think that there's going to be a huge problem with the added ground here, and the pedigree says he can go this far as well. I'm just concerned about the company. The hike up in class is the main thing. I just don't know how good he is. He hasn't run fast enough yet in those sprint races. He would have to run much faster in this 2-turn race. Slow Down Andy, number 10. Doug O'Neill is the trainer. A Kentucky Derby winner for Doug O'Neill. Nyquist is the sire, and then Square Eddie is the dam sire. This one's a California bred, and in his career debut against Calbreds at Santa Anita last fall at 5.5 furlongs on dirt, he stalked. He won easily from post 5 in a 6-horse field. Second time out, Golden State Juvenile. Phineas won that one. Phineas was my top choice in that race that day. I remember this race. And then Slow Down Andy ended up finishing second as the favorite in that 12-horse field. And then he stepped up his game in the Grade 2 Los Alamitos Futurity. And in that Los Al Futurity, he stalked the pace, and he was able to wear down Messier. And those 2 were well clear of the rest. Messier came back and ran off the screen in the Robert Lewis Stakes, and now Slow Down Andy's making his first start this year. But he was making some mistakes in that Los Al Futurity in the stretch. He was coming in. He was kind of erratic, lugging in. They tried to straighten him back out. He had some antics going on, and you don't want to see that in these Kentucky Derby points races, because you're going to have horses that are very professional, and they're not going to make any mistakes. And if you make one, that could be the difference between winning and losing. And I don't love the outside post. He's in for a wide stalking trip in here. So this race seems pretty competitive. You have some horses that have faced some good horses already. And overall, looking at from top to bottom, there are at least five quality horses in this race that have good stakes form, and this could be the deepest Kentucky Derby points race so far this year. I didn't think that LeCompte was super strong, but my top choice in there is going to be my third choice this time. Epicenter was my top choice in the LeCompte. Thought he ran the best race in the LeCompte, and not just because I picked him on top, it's just there's strong fractions, and he was pressured, and he wouldn't give up, and he fought all the way to the end. And if he can get out there and set a more controlled pace at 1 1/8, could be dangerous in here. My second choice will be Smile Happy. Always liked this one. I thought that he's been on my Kentucky Derby list along with Zandon since his victory in the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes. And I think that from that post, he's going to be stalking towards the outside. And he doesn't need to win this race. His first start off of a layoff. But he's one of the favorites in the Kentucky Derby so far, your early favorites. And he should run a good race. I'm going to make Zandon my top choice again, just like I did in the Remsen. I like that he has 1 1/8 experience. I like his tactical speed. His post position's decent enough. 2 of his main competitors are drawn outside of him, so I think that he can get a better trip than Smile Happy and slow down Andy in here. And really hasn't done much wrong. Chad Brown, very good layoff trainer, and I would expect that he's ready to roll. And I like the fact that Chad Brown's shipping this one from Florida. He could have easily kept him there. They decided to come here for this 1 1/8 race, and I'm hoping that that's why he wanted to come here, to run that distance that he ran last time out. And if he can improve a little more, he can win it. So Zandon will be my top choice over Smile Happy, and then my third choice is Epicenter. Now don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you like this content, and that will wrap up this video. And I'll be back next week to look at some more Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks points races. Till then, good luck at the races.